Stay with this message. Not because you are curious, not because you are bored, but because something inside you already knows this moment matters. You did not arrive here by accident. Out of countless videos, countless voices, you stopped here. That pause was not random. That pause was recognition. Your heart has been carrying questions it could not fully explain. Quiet questions. Unspoken ones. Questions you never said out loud, yet felt every night when things became still. And here is the truth your heart understands before your mind does. You have been doing more right than you think. Even in moments where you felt lost. Even when progress felt invisible. Even when silence felt heavy. What you thought was delay was alignment. What you thought was rejection was redirection. What you thought was emptiness was preparation. Stay with this message. Because something is shifting without noise. No pressure. No force. Just a gentle rearranging of timing in your favor. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are being positioned. The reason this message feels different is simple. It is not trying to scare you. It is not trying to rush you. It is not demanding belief. It is reminding you of what you already carry. Your calm is not weakness. Your patience is not failure. Your quiet strength has been noticed. And very soon, you will understand why certain doors never opened. Why certain people faded. Why certain paths ended abruptly. Not as loss. As protection. Stay here. Do not scroll. Do not rush ahead. Let this settle. Because clarity does not arrive loudly. It arrives when you are still enough to receive it. And right now, your heart already knows. Stay. Stay with this message a little longer. Because the moment after recognition is always the most important one. Most people leave too early. They feel something stir, then they rush back into noise. But you are still here. And that alone says more than you realize. Here is what few ever hear. Nothing powerful arrives with urgency. Nothing meant for you requires panic. What is truly aligned moves quietly, steadily, without fear. That is why this message is calm. That is why it does not shout. It does not need to. You have been sensing a change that had no name. A feeling that something is closing while something else prepares to open. Not yet visible, but undeniable. This is the space where endings dissolve into beginnings. Not dramatically, naturally. What is leaving your life now is not being taken from you. It is being released because it no longer matches who you are becoming. You are not losing momentum. You are shedding weight. Old expectations. Old timelines. Old versions of yourself that worked once, but cannot go forward with you. Stay here. Because the most surprising truth is this. You do not need to chase what is meant for you. You only need to stop doubting when it approaches quietly. What is aligning now will feel familiar, not overwhelming. It will feel like relief, not resistance. Like recognition, not persuasion. That is why your heart feels steady while listening. Not excited, not anxious, just sure. Let that be enough. Do not analyze it. Do not rush it. Do not explain it away. Some confirmations are not meant for the mind. They are meant for the part of you that already understands. Stay. Because the next step reveals itself only after stillness is accepted. Stay until the end of this message. Because the final understanding always comes quietly. There is a reason you were guided through these words step by step. Not all at once. Not rushed. Because what is real settles slowly. Here is the part most people never hear. The moment you stop searching for signs, they begin to appear everywhere. Not as miracles. Not as dramatic moments. But as certainty. A certainty that does not shake when the world is loud. A certainty that does not need approval. A certainty that feels like coming home to yourself. This is why your heart feels steady now. You were never meant to struggle your way forward. You were meant to recognize the moment when effort could rest. What is coming next will not demand proof from you. It will not test your worth. It will not ask you to become someone else. It will meet you exactly as you are. That is the once in a lifetime truth. When alignment is real, it does not feel like chasing. It feels like remembering. Remembering who you were before doubt spoke louder than trust. Before timing confused you. Before you questioned your own inner knowing. This message is not ending. It is completing. completing a loop your heart has been waiting to close. If you felt calm instead of rushed, that was your answer. If you felt grounded instead of excited, that was your confirmation. Nothing needs to be forced. From here, stay present, stay open, stay steady, because now, you understand why you stayed. Stay with this final part, because what happens now is subtle, but permanent. Up to this moment, your attention was being guided. Now, your awareness is settling. Here is the rare truth few ever notice. When something meant for you arrives, there is no announcement, no countdown, no dramatic signal. There is only peace. That is why this message did not rush you. That is why it did not warn you. That is why it did not push fear or urgency. What is real does not compete for attention. It waits until you are quiet enough to notice. And you noticed. You may not fully understand what shifted, but you feel lighter, more grounded, less divided inside. That is alignment. Nothing has been taken from you. Nothing has been delayed. Nothing has been missed. Something simply clicked back into place. From here, your steps will feel simpler, your choices clearer, your intuition steadier. Not because life becomes perfect, but because you stop fighting yourself. This is the understanding your heart was waiting for. You do not need to search anymore. You do not need to prove anything. You do not need to rush ahead. Just continue as you are, calm, present, certain. And if you ever remember this moment, remember this feeling. Because this is what truth feels like when it finally reaches you. Stay with this final continuation. Because now, something has already changed. Not outside of you, inside. Most people believe revelation feels loud. They expect excitement. They expect a rush. They expect a sign they can explain. But the rarest shifts arrive differently. They arrive as quiet confidence. As a sense of, I know, without needing reasons. As calm replacing the constant inner noise. That is what is happening now. You are no longer waiting. You are no longer asking. You are no longer reaching outward for confirmation. You are standing. And that is the moment life responds. Here is the once, in, a, lifetime truth. The moment you stop trying to become ready, you realize you already are. Nothing more is required. Nothing more is missing. Nothing needs to be fixed. This is why your breathing feels slower. Why your thoughts feel less urgent. Why this message feels complete instead of unfinished. You are aligned. Not because something dramatic occurred, but because resistance ended. From here, things move naturally. Conversations shift. Opportunities appear. Without force. Decisions feel obvious instead of confusing. You will not need to announce this change. Others will feel it. This is the kind of understanding that stays. The kind that does not fade when the video ends. The kind that remains when silence returns. Let this be enough. No rushing. No searching. No doubt. Just this quiet certainty. And now, you know exactly why you stayed. Stay with this moment. Because this is where most people unknowingly turn away. Not because nothing is happening, but because something real is settling in. Here is the surprising truth. When alignment becomes stable, it stops asking for attention. No rush. No urgency. No dramatic emotion. Just presence. That is why this part feels different. Not lighter. Not heavier. Clearer. You are no longer being guided forward. You are being invited to stand still. And standing still is powerful. Most people move to escape uncertainty. You stayed. And in staying, certainty arrived. This is the once, in, a, lifetime realization. Life responds fastest when you stop reaching for it. You do not need the next message. You do not need the next sign. You do not need the next reassurance. You already received what you came for. That quiet steadiness you feel now is not temporary. It is not imagination. It is recognition. From here, things will unfold without effort. Not because everything changes, but because you do. Your reactions soften. Your decisions simplify. Your direction feels obvious. No explanation needed. No announcement required. Just continue. Calm, grounded, certain. And when this video ends, nothing ends. This understanding stays. And that is why this moment mattered. Stay here. Because this is the point where meaning becomes permanent. What you are feeling now is not emotion. It is recognition. A deep, steady knowing that does not rise or fall. It simply stays. Here is the rare realization few ever reach. Nothing new is coming to complete you. Nothing external is required to confirm you. Nothing outside of you is missing. The moment you stop expecting the next moment, life meets you exactly where you are. That is what just happened. This is why everything feels quieter, not empty, clear. You have stepped out of anticipation, and anticipation was the last layer of tension. Most people live waiting for something to arrive. You are no longer waiting, and that changes everything. From this point forward, your choices will feel less dramatic, your direction less complicated, your confidence less performative, not because you are trying to be calm, but because calm has claimed its place. This is the once-in-a-lifetime shift. When you stop asking life to prove itself, it begins to reveal itself naturally. Nothing needs to be announced. Nothing needs to be explained. Nothing needs to be chased. Just continue as you are, present, steady, complete. And if you remember only one thing from this message, remember this. You did not stay to hear something new. You stayed to remember what was already true. Stay with this part. Because now, the message is no longer guiding you. It is reflecting you. What you are experiencing is rare, not dramatic, not emotional. Rare because it is stable. Here is the surprising truth most people never realize. When something truly lands, it does not excite the mind. It calms it. That calm you feel is not fading. It is integrating. You are no longer listening for meaning. You are listening from meaning. That is the shift. Nothing needs to be added to this moment. Nothing needs to be taken away. Nothing needs to be improved. This is why silence feels full instead of empty. Why stillness feels strong instead of passive. You are not pausing your life. You are standing inside it. This is the once-in-a-lifetime realization. The clarity you were seeking was never ahead of you. It was waiting for you to stop moving past it. And you stopped. That is why this part feels complete. Not finished. Complete. From here, you will notice fewer inner questions. Fewer second thoughts. Fewer explanations. Not because answers appear, but because questions dissolve. Let this remain untouched. Do not label it. Do not share it too quickly. Do not rush away from it. Some understandings are meant to settle quietly and guide everything after. You are here. You are present. You are aligned. And now, you know why this message stayed with you. Stay with this final layer. Because this is where understanding becomes irreversible. Up to now, the message was unfolding. Now, it is anchoring. Here is the rare truth almost no one hears. When something is truly meant for you, it does not pull you forward. It settles you where you are. That is why nothing feels urgent. That is why nothing feels unfinished. That is why this moment feels whole. You are no longer listening for direction. You are listening from alignment. This is the once-in-a-lifetime realization. The moment you stop asking, life starts responding without words. You do not need reassurance. You do not need confirmation. You do not need another sign. The clarity you were waiting for has already taken its place inside you. That quiet certainty is not temporary. It does not fade after the video ends. It stays because it belongs to you. From here, your movement will be natural. Your decisions will feel obvious. Your path will unfold without resistance. Not because everything changes, but because nothing is being questioned anymore. This is completion. Not an ending. Not a climax. Completion. If you felt calm instead of impressed, that was the message working. If you felt still instead of excited, that was the confirmation. Nothing more needs to be said. Just remain as you are. Present. Grounded. Certain. And now, you understand why you stayed until the very end. Stay with this ending. Not because it is the end, but because nothing more needs to be added. What you are feeling now is not inspiration. It is certainty. The kind that does not rush. The kind that does not explain itself. The kind that remains even when everything goes quiet. Here is the final truth. Nothing was meant to happen next. This was the moment. Not a promise. Not a prediction. A recognition. You were not brought here to be convinced. You were brought here to remember. Remember that you are not behind. Remember that you are not missing anything. Remember that you were never disconnected. Everything aligned the instant you stopped pushing and allowed stillness to hold you. That is why this message did not escalate. That is why it did not warn. That is why it did not demand action. What is real does not need momentum. It needs presence. And you gave it that. From here, life does not become louder. It becomes clearer. You will move without forcing, choose without doubt, speak without needing approval. Not because you learned something new, but because you returned to something true. Let this ending remain untouched. No rush, no scrolling, no searching for what comes next. This was complete the moment you stayed. And now, you understand. Stay.